Welcome to the Love Officiant Podcast.
I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. I just want to say thank you for being the Love Officiant's first sponsor
Oh,
and
yes, I'm so
seeing the
excited.
potential in the Love Officiant and the podcast. We're like truly, and I mean me, I'm very truly honored
Well,
to be
I
here.
love what you're doing. And I mean, love is in your name. So we have to do something together.
Yes, no, for sure. We have been wanting to actually collab for for a couple years actually,
Mhm.
just looking for something to collab on. And when I called Monica and I told her about the collab, she was so excited and I was so excited because she was so excited and I was like, "Ah!" So, I'm very excited to be here today. Now, I do have a couple of questions here. Now, we'll jump in and get to a couple. We don't have to answer everything, but just like, we'll go with the flow,
Okay.
basically. Okay. So these are the questions that I'm very interested in because I've had these same questions for myself, as a business owner. Well, first of all, I wanted to know how long have you been the One Bride Guide?
Well, we're wrapping up our 19th year.
Oh
So
my
that's really exciting because, 20th anniversary is coming up next year.
Oh my
And
goodness.
our
How
birthday, I don't
exciting.
know, do you say anniversary or birthday for
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
But I guess anniversary because that's what you celebrate with weddings, right?
Yes.
So we're very excited, and that means we have to have a big party. So we haven't started planning it yet, but
Well, I hope I'm on the
next year.
VIP list.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but it'll be fun. So next year's 20. So we got a lot of things we're talking about doing, expanding with the One Bright Guide and
Mhm.
online, and especially for marriages.
Right.
So that's our new focus. Well, not new. We've been wanting to do something to promote marriages, help people stay together
Oh,
for a
that
long
would be
time. So
awesome.
we've been dabbling in how we can do that for the last few years, but hopefully launch some big things next year too.
I am so excited for you. Like
Hmm.
you're telling me, but I'm like so excited because I know what it's like to be, kind of a small business, woman owned, based, and just to thrive. And you are definitely thriving. So thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the questions I had was going back to the beginning, what inspired you to create the One Bride Guide, the community? Was there a moment where you thought brides and grooms you know, really need this?
Yes. Well, the story is
Hmm.
our background is graphic design and marketing. McLeod Creative is the parent company, and which I started. And I had done several magazines in the past. We had done an archaeology magazine for years. That was really fun. And then some local things. And I wanted to get into weddings, do more for weddings because, looking at it as a business, it's like, well, weddings aren't going away. And so I started doing custom invitation design. But right around that time was when all of the new apps and things were coming online. So you could design your own stuff. And so that wasn't really a big moneymaker for our company. And we had done a project with the Convention and Visitors Bureau for a meeting planner's guide. And it was a really interesting project because they talked about all the different venues in town and how big they were and that kind of thing. And so we kind of took that idea and ran with it to do our site finder that's inside the magazine. So that's kind of where it started. Was we had just a glimpse on what we could do through this meeting planner's guide for brides, because it's like brides need to know what all the venues are that
Yeah, for
exist, how big they
sure.
are, all the details. And so it really started from there. Like, well, we can build resources around weddings and really provide a book that has everything you need to get married. So the directory and the venues and all the
Genius.
tools and everything. So it really started with the resources, but we had
Mhm.
a background in magazine design.
That's
So
awesome. So
mhm.
I would imagine being anthropology is what you were. Was it
Archaeology.
archaeology? I'm thinking about the other magazine. Um, you already had like you said, you already had the resources. You just put it all together. And would you say that this is a lot more fun
Oh,
than the
yes.
other one?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Because you get fashion and
Hmm.
you get to see different
I mean, the
photos
archaeology was
and
fun because we would get hand drawn maps from archaeologists that we had to redraw. So that was
wow.
the fun part, but it was pretty boring compared to weddings. And so
Yeah.
I love, well, so I was first starting, actually the photographer that took the shot that's on our very, very first issue. That
Mhm.
shot, little known fact, is actually from Vegas because we didn't have a magazine yet. And so my best friend, my maid of honor, was a photographer in Vegas, and
Mhm.
she said, "Oh, you should be a wedding photographer because I do photography too."
Mhm.
And I said, "No, I don't want to go to weddings every weekend."
I
So,
know, yeah.
really, I get the
It's a
best
lot
of
to
both.
be a photographer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
it's
it's a
quite a
great
lot.
business,
Yeah, yeah.
and
No, it's great.
really, the photographers are what carry this
Right.
magazine because it's
Yeah,
so visually driven.
they do.
But I get the best of both worlds because I get to see everybody's wedding after the
Mhm.
fact. So I get to look through all the
Yes.
galleries and, you know, just, tap into my girly side and see what everyone's doing. But all after the fact where I don't have to, get the pressure of planning a wedding or,
Yeah, I
or being a
I
part of that.
understand that. No, no. I have been asked, like, "Why don't you just be a wedding planner?" And I'm like, no, thank you. Like, that is just too much. Like, just the thought of it. Whoo, my shoulders
Yeah, you've got a
tense.
great spot in the wedding industry too.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, I love my spot. I love it because, I'm there for the time that they need me and then I'm not. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much.
yes.
And I never ask. I know there's like some weird things of officiants on Reddit, like they'll be, "What you didn't invite me?" I mean, I would never assume that I was ever invited to anything. Only if they personally invite me, then I'll stay. But if they don't, I'm like, okay, thank you, bye,
Mhm.
and then I'll go do whatever it is I have to do. And a lot of the time, sometimes I'll have a wedding right back to back,
Yeah.
so I can't. But oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I'm
And the
so
officiants, one of the most important parts, the vows. So
yes,
that's special.
yes. No, I love my job. Honestly, I love it. Okay, I think you already answered this question, but I'm gonna ask you again. I think you said you've been in business for going on, what is it, 19, 20 years?
Yeah. So the magazine's 19 years. And
Okay.
then,
What year did you launch the One Bread Guide?
oh, well, so that would have been um, 2006, right? Wait,
2006.
no. What year is this? No,
2026?
it'll have
We're in
been
2020.
2007.
2007.
2007. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so let me give you an example of mine and then maybe you can understand the question I'm about to ask you about that. So when I thought about my business was into 2015. I got ordained in 2014, but um, I didn't do it until 2015. That's when uh, gay weddings became legalized. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to marry all the gay people in all of South Texas, right? And that was like my epitome. And I remember sitting in my bathroom. Don't ask me what I was doing, but I was in my bathroom and I said, "The Love Officiant." So I want to know your name. Where were you? How did you come up with the name? And what were you doing when you came up with the name?
Oh, goodness.
Okay. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how did you come up with the name, the One Bride Guy?
Well, most of the time, whenever I'm doing a branding
Mm-hmm.
project, I spend a lot of time in the thesaurus and just writing names and phrases and just for days and days, writing every name, every word, just doing a deep dive on where words come from and all that. So that's what I did for the
Mm-hmm.
one. And there were a bunch of different names, but they all seemed really cheesy. And I think it was like I just need to find the one,
Right.
and then I was like, it's like finding the one, and I was like, ah.
Do you remember where you were when you had this epiphany?
Yeah, so it's probably in my office.
Okay.
So this is the fourth or fifth office I've had on this block, and I used to be on the corner, and I had hired a designer, and we were brainstorming together on the name and the logo and all that, and so it was probably in the office when we were doing that and
That
coming
is
up with the
so. And the
name.
name's perfect, by the way. One Bride Guide. Like,
Yes. Well, it's
ugh,
actually funny because it seems perfect, but whenever you talk on the phone and say
uh-huh.
I'm from the One Bride Guide, people are like, "What?" It's
Like, which one though? I guess I could see
one,
where that
so
some
it's
people
like
would
One
think that.
Bride, and so having the one is has been,
Right.
and it's been a little
I think
confusing at
I've never
times.
been confused by the name. I mean, I've always I've always known
Yeah, I think it makes
about you,
sense.
and I've always
Mhm.
understood, but I
And
guess
then we
some
went
people
through
wouldn't.
some different iterations with the logo,
Mhm.
and ultimately we really liked the two rings that were intertwined. And so if you notice our
Ooh,
logo,
oh yeah,
which
I see
actually
that.
here's the logo.
Woo! And you can get her
Yeah,
merch.
we just
Where?
started
How can
selling
we get it?
swag on theonebrideguide.com and look for
Okay,
our little shop. Um,
I
Tag,
love
but
this.
you can see the rings. So
Yeah,
we liked
I
that the
love
rings
that.
were
That is
intertwined,
so
like they
cool.
can't separate because they are actually,
And I love like can I feel your
Oh yeah, it's
I
soft.
love the material because it seems like a cool material, not like a heavy cotton wool. It just seems like a very good, nice
Yeah,
fabric,
they're super
very nice, and it
soft,
looks very
but they're
flexible. And
also solid, like the white. You don't can't see through it too bad.
I love that. It's
But
so cute.
so for a while, we had this logo and we
Hmm.
really liked it. And then there was a time, it was kind of right after our 10-year anniversary where we explored, we're like, do we need to modernize our logo? And it was when everybody was changing their logos, and like Rolling Stone had gone from a large format to a 8.5 by 11 size, which we were like, oh my gosh, Rolling Stone. Because we designed the magazine to be bigger than an 8.5 by 11, so that on
I
purpose.
love your magazine, by the way, and
Thank
the
you.
size. It's so
Because
beautiful.
it was on purpose so that when brides are holding
Mm-hmm.
all their stuff, it stands out, and
Mm-hmm.
it's small enough that it'll fit in a box where you put like file folders,
Mm-hmm.
but big enough that it's bigger than everything else. So it's very
Yes.
strategic. But so we were looking at the logo and how a lot of these old school brands were really modernizing, but the modernizing was going to really stark, like, not a lot of character to the logo, just sans serif fonts. And we did this whole exploration on it. And at the end of it, I was like, I hate everything. We're staying with our logo. Rolling Stone has never changed their logo. We don't have to change ours.
Yeah.
And even though they did change their magazine format, so we've stuck with it. I said, we're keeping it until I find something better.
No, I love your logo. I think it's beautiful,
Yeah.
and I love the font.
Thank
I
you.
think everything about it is
We
so
did
cool.
actually tone down the font a little bit after
Okay.
10 years. So the little loopty swoopty things underneath
Mm-hmm.
got a little smaller. So we just
Oh,
cleaned it up
I
just a
didn't
little bit.
notice.
Yeah, nobody noticed.
It's so pretty though. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so one of the things I don't have on my questions, but I wanted to ask you. So, where would the brides find the One Bride Guide? Like, if I was a bride and I was like, oh, where do I find this? Where are
Well,
you?
the easiest place is
Hmm.
downtown here in our building.
Okay.
So we're at the Foundry, which is 418 People's Street, and it's right on the corner of Mesquite and People's. And in our lobby is a fabulous coffee shop,
Yes, I have a coffee.
Adelpho's.
I'm coffee from them right now.
So Adelpho's has a giant stack. They always have a stack. We keep that pretty stocked up down there. So if you want to make sure you'll find a magazine, come to Adelpho's. Also, lots of different coffee shops. Coffee Waves has them. A lot of the boutiques, Men's Warehouse,
Yeah.
places that are, general wedding type places are going to have them. We do have an update though. We used to move a lot of magazines through
Hmm.
HEB. And
Oh wow.
unfortunately, HEB decided that they're discontinuing all of their free, like the
Resource center.
displaying their
Hmm.
free magazines. So all the free magazines got kicked out of HEB.
Oh
And we've been trying to figure out how to get back in, but so far have not been able to. So the IGA on the island has them,
no.
and we're
Yay.
working on some other places, but they're all over the place. And you can find our list online if you go to theonebrideguide.com. There's under magazine, there's a distribution area, and you can see
So
where they
cool.
are.
If I'm in the area and I find somebody who owns a business, I'll definitely be on the lookout for you as well.
Yes, if anybody's interested in hosting the One Bride Guide at your shop, it's free. You just need to let us know, and we'll bring them by. And
Yay.
it's a great way. We do list you on our website if you do
Mhm.
that, so it's a great way to get a little bit of extra exposure.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's awesome. You can have it within minutes, depending on where you live. Okay, so what is one success story that has really stayed with you, as far as clients and stuff like that?
Well, our one of our
Mm.
most recent fun stories was it's not the current issue that's out right now, but the previous one with the airplane on it.
Mm-hmm.
And our model, Shalini Narang, we met her through some friends,
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking with her about doing the cover. And as we were actually shooting the cover, she told us about her daughter's wedding that was it was in the islands, and
Oh, nice.
they did a full Indian wedding.
Oh,
Well, we've shown off some Indian weddings in our
mm-hmm.
magazine before,
And they
but
get to wear that. Was it sari? Is that what it's called? Love
and
that.
so talking to Shalini,
Mm-hmm.
she was explaining to us how this wedding was, 3 or 4 days. Actually, it was much longer than that with
Mm-hmm.
the everything,
I
but the
bet.
main
Yeah.
events.
Mm-hmm.
She was explaining to us the main events and all the different outfits and everything, and
That is
I thought it
that's like
was
a dream.
yeah, and I thought it was so cool because here we are shooting her as just a model, but really she's this jet setting mother of the bride because they were having to go over to India to get gifts for the guests and then
Mm-hmm.
over to the islands to set up everything. And so the fact that we were shooting her in an airplane ended up being so perfect.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have known about her daughter's wedding had we not been shooting her on the cover. And so then we made room in the magazine to do our first double spread of a wedding
Oh,
feature. And
that
so,
must have been so cool.
yeah, so we got to show off all the events, and we haven't really had the space to do that before.
Right.
And so it was really special, connecting the mom to her daughter, and they
That
both
is
got
so
to be in the same
cool.
issue, and it was
Yeah.
so elaborate and such a big fun thing. And so that was really
And
unexpected.
what year and month was that?
This was our February issue, 2026. Yeah.
2026. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to look. I don't know, archive that. Maybe I'll try to look for it later.
Yes, it's all on
See
our
it.
website.
It's on your website. Perfect. I definitely want to see that because I'm
Yes.
very into. That's one of my dream weddings that I've always wanted to do. I know I probably wouldn't want me because I'm a wedding officiant. I'm sure they have someone for that.
You
But
never
just to
know.
wear the outfit alone and wear
Mhm.
like you know everything that they do and everything that they embody, I just think it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And the way that they're, like you said, it's an ongoing, it's not just one day, it's
Mhm.
something that is, days and
Well, she has
days.
more daughters, so maybe I'll get invited.
Yes. Well, if you get
Shalini.
invited, please don't forget about me.
But the covers are really cool. We were talking about covers,
Mhm.
and we never really know what's going to happen with our covers.
But that must make it so
It
exciting,
is.
though.
It's my favorite
Like,
thing to
you
do.
don't know. Like, you're like, I'm not sure what the cover is
Mhm.
going to look like. Okay, talk to them a little bit about like how do you get your covers? How does this happen?
Well, it's they're acts of God, really. No, we never really know, and so most of the covers just kind of come along on their own and fall into our lap one way or another, and that's why we love it so much. And you can't buy a spot on the cover. We reserve that for our own creative exploration. And so
Hmm.
what we like to do is really collab on the cover. So we look for who's investing in our magazine that we can collaborate with, and
Hmm.
then what other people can we collaborate with and bring in.
Hmm.
And it changes all the time. So one of my favorite ones was Horses on the Beach. And so we had been working for a long time with Julia from Wild Veggie Bouquet and
Hmm.
love her work. And so her husband owns Horses on the Beach. And so we
That's so
we were
cool.
talking about doing the shoot, and we had actually been planning years and years and years prior to use this one model, Devry, for a horse shoot, and it didn't
Hmm.
end up working out way back then. And so then when we were talking about Horses on the Beach, and we're like, well, who are we going to get? And I was like, well, there's Devry. We were going to shoot her like 10 years ago. Maybe she's still available,
Yeah.
and she's gorgeous.
Hmm.
And you can go look up the issue, but that kind of just fell into our lap because we were just sitting there brainstorming, like, what are we going to do?
Hmm.
And it's summer, and we need to do something fun and
Right.
outside. And then Julia was like, well, we could use the horses, and so
Hmm.
that just all kind of fell into place. So it depends
Hmm.
on what's going on and who's in our lives. And if anybody's interested in getting on a cover,
Right.
like if a photographer is interested, what I tell everybody is bring us an idea.
Okay.
because for a long time I was trying to give every photographer an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And the covers, it's a place where you can really explore
Mm-hmm.
your creativity, and we have a lot of resources for our covers, so we
Mm-hmm.
bring in a lot of people to help, so it's an opportunity for a photographer to really do more than maybe they can normally
Right.
do at a
Right.
wedding.
Definitely.
And we were offering that up to a lot of photographers, and then people, we weren't getting that investment of time and ideas that we were looking for. And so we kind of developed a team, going to some of the same photographers over and over again, mostly just because we knew that they would bring a lot to the table.
Right. Right.
And as far as ideas and all of that, so it's not that we're, we do have favorites, but
Right.
we're open to other people. You just have to bring us some
The
ideas.
ideas. I know you had told me a while back that sometimes um, photographers from Corpus Christi or in Texas could maybe possibly submit their work to you so you could view it.
Yes, so we do a call for submissions. Actually, there's one coming out very soon this
Okay.
week. So probably by the time this post, it'll have gone out.
Mm-hmm.
So usually about a month before our deadline, we do a call for submissions to all the photographers that we have on file and to our social media channels. And so you have about a month to submit weddings and photos. So there's different ways. Anybody can get featured in the magazine for free, and we don't charge to be featured, but there's no guarantee of being
Right. Right. It's
featured.
kind of like a raffle lottery base.
Yeah, and we look at we try to get a variety in the
It seems like you
magazine.
look for like uniqueness too, because it's like you've probably seen every kind of wedding that there could possibly be in weddings. Like I can just imagine just seeing like, okay, we kind of did that already. Oh yeah, we did that already. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you're looking for something that's very authentic, very unique, something out of the box type photography is what I'm imagining.
Yes, and then if you're getting married at
Mhm.
somewhere, we haven't seen in the magazine in a while, and even a backyard, like we're going to put that in if we haven't featured something like that in a
Right.
while. So, don't ever think like, oh, my wedding's not big enough to be in there, or
Right.
I'm not thin enough to be in there. Like we love all shapes and sizes, and we love all types of weddings, and we try to give a variety in the features, but it all just depends on who submits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some vendors too get mad, like, oh, well, you haven't featured me in the wedding and in the magazine in a while. I'm like, well, have you submitted anything? And they're like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in the magazine, the way you do it is go to our website, the
And it
One
would
Bride
have to be
Guide.
the photographer or the bride or either one of
Either
them.
one. Yep.
So it could
Anybody,
be the
even a
photographer or
vendor.
the bride. Okay.
Yep. Venues, vendors, anybody, wedding planners, you could submit a wedding.
Okay.
Ultimately, if it's a featured wedding that you're wanting to submit, there's a form that the bride and the groom have to fill out with
Okay.
all the questions, like your favorite moment and biggest challenge and
Right.
that
Right.
kind of thing. But you can still submit the wedding even before we have that form, just to say like, here's an amazing wedding, like even just a couple pictures just to get it on our radar. And then if it's not a full-fledged wedding, especially if it's a destination wedding somewhere,
Ooh.
you can submit it and we may feature it in our style pages.
Okay.
So we have a bride style, which is, grooms are in there too, but it's mostly bride focused. And then we have a groom style in the back, and that's mostly groom focused, and all the little, ring bearers and the boys and all the little beautiful little girls in the bride section. So for those sections, we're looking for just unique photos, really, and unique features of the wedding we'll put in there too. And then something we're always looking for is our parting shot. And the parting shot is a really special shot.
Like,
It's just a moment. It can be
okay.
from any
An eye
point in the wedding.
contact.
It can even, I don't put a lot of engagement photos in the issue, but for the parting shot, it just needs to be a moment where
Okay.
you see like something happening in there. It's not
Okay.
posed. So either
It's a candid picture.
yeah, usually it's candid. It can be staged and then it's just something, really elaborate. It's just that shot, you're like, ooh, and then we look for a quote to go with it. And so that's our last thing. And that came from Outside Magazine. Do you remember that? It's like an adventure magazine. And so
Mm.
I used to live in Colorado. So it was this adventure magazine, and they always had a parting shot in the back of some crazy outdoor, like a climber, somebody hang gliding or something. And so
Oh,
I was like, oh, I
that's
love
so
that
cool.
idea, having like the last page, like a little
Kind of like
statement.
what is it, the Empire Building?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's a great
I
engagement.
know. Did you see the engagement
I
there?
saw that. I was like, what's happening? And then he's like, they're getting engaged. They're getting, and I did my own little reduction of that, of just playing around with AI and stuff. But
Oh, funny.
I just thought that was like, who's gonna beat that proposal? Like,
Yeah.
that's like,
And as far as the
whew.
photographers, I really try to get everybody a spot.
Right.
So whoever submits, if you go through the trouble of submitting, as long as you're decent. I mean, pretty much everybody that submits is decent. And
Right,
so we'll
right,
try to get you at least one shot in the
right.
magazine.
And
So
if it's
definitely
not that
submit.
month, then maybe another month
Hmm.
or another, just depending on the theme and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
summer, you're in
Hmm.
summer, so you want more summer. If it's a shoot that they did in the winter, obviously you're not going to put it in the summer.
Sometimes we do. It just depends on what comes through because we don't have control of who submits. So we just never know. And sometimes we will put more of a winter wedding in the summer issue if it's unique and beautiful, and
Hmm.
we just want to get it in. So you never know.
Oh my goodness. It sounds like such an exciting, I don't know, just it's an exciting
It's
job
good.
to, look at all the photos. And
Mhm.
I know it's more than that. So how many people do you have on your team?
Well, there's quite a bit in house. We don't have a lot in the office because
Hmm.
most everyone who works for us is contract.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of different writers, and I have a delivery guy, and we have a lot of people that are helping with our database and online stuff.
Hmm.
And our it's called magazine managers, how we manage all the advertising. And I do need to hire a new ad salesperson soon. So if you're into sales, keep an eye out for that or contact me. But yeah, we're trying to grow a little bit now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Well, I did promise you I was going to get you going soon. So let me see what my last question is for you. Hmm. Okay. So this is my last question for you. Imagine a couple just got engaged. What, and they're very excited. Um, what would you have them do?
Well, the first thing you can do is go online to our wedding planning tool. So we have a tool, it's very similar to the knot.
I was looking at her magazine. So if you go into her magazine, it's so helpful. Like,
Mhm.
and they're free, correct? The One
Yes.
Bride Guide is free. So if you go to her magazine, um, I'll let you say it. I'm sorry.
Well, the
Go
print
ahead. I'm so excited.
the the print has a lot of tools. So you've got a budget
Yes.
calculator, a photo shoot sheet, a timeline, all those things, registry, and then lots of listings of venues and all the people in the directory. So you can start contacting your people. But we also have an online tool where you
Mhm.
can plan your wedding online and save everybody online. And there's a bigger directory online because
Mhm.
everybody that's in the print is somehow contributing to the magazine, and everybody online is everybody. So you can find all the people online, but it's the one dot community. So instead of .com, it's .community.
Okay, I love
And yeah, and you log
that.
in, it's free. It's actually free for brides and for vendors right
Mhm.
now. It's completely free, which will not be staying like that forever. So if you're a bride or a vendor, vendors, go to the supplier area and you can register your business for free. There will always be a free option, so you can just get a listing and make sure you show up in there for brides.
Okay, cool.
But it's a great spot because the other online planning tools don't really come south of San Antonio,
Mhm.
and so that's why we started ours. And really, our directory got too big in the magazine, so we had to move it all online.
I love your magazine. I was just looking at your magazine. The latest one I have is with Ash. I believe it's Ashley. Oh, I cannot think. Was my bride actually, and you did a
Oh yeah, she used to work
beautiful.
here.
Yeah, actually, she
Yeah.
used to work here, and you did a beautiful. They did a beautiful setup of San Patricio, of the chapel, of
Mhm.
everything, and I loved it because I was even mentioned in there as a wedding officiant.
Yes, and her husband Alan, he did some work for us. He actually built our one of our first websites. So they were very involved in the magazine. So it was super special to feature them. And oh, her wedding was gorgeous. Her veil. Oh,
Wait,
yes.
you were there?
No, just I
Oh,
featured
from the
it,
feature.
so I got to see
I was
it.
like, wait, I didn't see you there. Okay.
No, my favorite part, I get to see everybody's wedding,
I know,
and I
you
don't
get
have
to
to go.
I know. And you don't have to be in the heat or anything. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being my first sponsor and then also being my first official interviewer um, on the Love Officiant podcast.
Yes.
I am so excited that it's you because, like I said, we had been wanting to collab for so long, and I'm just so excited that it's finally happened.
Hey.
And woo, I'm so excited. So, what you can do later on is I believe you're telling me how that works with the QR code and stuff like that.
You'll be in the magazine, so
Okay.
you can look for the Love Officiant and the One Bride
Yes.
Guide.
Yay! I'm so excited. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all have been awesome. And I will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.